I think with uh, Tucker and Candace and Alex Jones, who's already been convicted of fraud, um, and then endorsing J.D. Vance, who's basically one of Peter Thiel's boys. Um, Ultimately, Tucker and Candace are, they're not really so much worried about their brands and their money because, um, unlike with the Kennedys, uh, they know there's several independent investigations. They know Vermont's working with Governor Hochul and JAG. So you got New York, Vermont, and military JAG looking to lock motherfuckers up and send motherfuckers to death row for treason. So they're going to put on the performances of a lifetime because they're not worried about Israel, so the Mossad killing them. Benjamin Netanyahu's already wanted for war crimes, right? He's already worried about going to prison. So they've got to come up with the plan to recapture those same large voter base of right, left, and in the middle and install somebody like Tucker or Peter Thiel who isn't going to lock anybody up and can make BS excuses uh, as to why they're not. And they'll hide behind progress. Meanwhile, nothing's going to change. Oh, and they may even, to make it look like they weren't doing yet another next level bait and switch, they may actually do some progressive stuff like make sure inflation is lowered and rents are lowered and unions are protected and wages go up and get everybody happy again, like in the 80s when Clinton and Bush and everybody was making money and buying houses. And basically they'll think of that as a settlement. They're, you're in front of a judge. Do you want to do 3 years in prison or do you want to pay a $500,000 fine? The trillionaire shit, we'll take the fine. Only in this case, it ain't just so much about prison as they're committing treason. They're going to death row. And to Zionists, is it really treason? They're not worried about so much as a reputation of treason. They don't want the legacy of having been in bed with the world's most prolific, what they're calling the world's most prolific child predator. No. He was the prolific child predator he was because he worked for the CIA and Mossad. He wouldn't have had access to all the victims that he had were it not for them. And the oligarchs, Bill Gates, Donald Trump, and all the ones in like Italy and UK and everywhere else. That's a legacy nobody wants because it gives the whole family a stench. Your kids have to live with it. Your whole brand is ruined. And they may not give a shit, what other people think about them as Zionists, but they don't want their kids being looked at as child sex traffickers and child murderers. That they do care about. And Tucker probably doesn't, I don't know, if his kid works for J.D. Vance, but he don't give a shit. His kid's part of it too, but and that might have been what what made Charlie Kirk rethink shit. He's got 2 little kids, and he might have just been loved his. He may have genuinely loved his kids, in that he didn't want his kids' legacy to be that of a big media mogul who was part of Epstein's criminal enterprise that assassinated a president and trafficked and killed kids. I mean, there was apparently a lot of murders that happened with children, and not just the kids that they abused. They'd knock those kids up and then kill the babies. Charlie Kirk, that's probably was what, and that maybe why a lot of them have no problem trying to distance themselves from Israel and Epstein and that criminal organization. So, just everybody watch your back. They've already hired a bunch of all new PIs. Luckily, the new ones aren't any smarter than the first ones. They're all fucking idiots who give it up in a matter of minutes, seconds. This new guy hanging around here sleeps in his car at Walmart, little black SUV. He's already in love with Trump. Admitted, just defends him every time he gets a chance. What the fuck is he doing hanging out at this McDonald's? If you sleep and live at Walmart, why aren't you at the McDonald's over there next to Walmart? Well, it's not right next to Walmart, but it's right down Williston Road, next to Al's French Fries. Why you gotta come all the way out here to charge your phone? There's a million places out there you can go sit and charge it. So anyway, that's just one. There's a whole lot more. So they're already prepared for a judge, an uncorrupted judge, to do their job, or a corrupt judge to pretend to do the job to make it look like they're not corrupt, by hiring a whole bunch of new PIs in hopes that I won't realize that they're violating the restraining order. So I'm just gonna, in order to cut it off right here, any motherfucker hanging out trying to pretend to be my friend is going to be under investigation auto-fucking-matically. I don't have, just because I'm friendly with the motherfucker doesn't mean I'm your friend and your crony and I'm gonna look out for you, and I'm gonna, if somebody's in real need and they need real help, I'll do it, but I will draw the line. Just like this little motherfucker, this gambling junkie. I made sure he had something to eat Thursday night, Wednesday night. Little cocksucker goes out and flies a sign, makes $200 fucking dollars. Blows it all on fucking scratch off tickets and at the fucking pot shop and cigarettes and fucking whatever else he bought. Does he pay me back the money he owes me? No. And the fucking MAGA piece of shit that's hanging out here in his car, sleeping in his car, defends the cocksucker. It's good old boy ball washing with those two. So I'll be friendly to you, but eventually you're going to do something stupid. If I'm being friendly to you, it means you're under investigation. Period. Doesn't mean we're friends, doesn't mean we're cronies. And I'm just giving a flat order, flat permission to the state police, to JAG, Essex PD, and Cousy, and the Sheriff's Department, and Hochul's Independent Investigation, any motherfucker that your surveillance proves is somebody trying to be my friend, just prosecute the fuck out of them. I'm telling you right now, prosecute them. Regardless of whether I've posted about it, because a lot of times I know about them and I don't post. Just like I knew who Burl and Caton, and I knew all of them were pretending to be agents of Senator Sanders and Sarah George and Mulvaney Stanek. I told on Ranger Preston, and I told on Janelle, to make it look like I would tell on anybody if I thought that's what they were doing. Meanwhile, I never told them. I kept my mouth shut about Burl and Caton until they admitted to using a bioweapon. And I'm not going to let it get that far ever again anymore, because as soon as I let it go too long and their expectations got so high and their narcissistic personality disorder so bad that when I cut them off, they just could not accept it. And their narcissistic rage, I get no trespass from the park. They go down and work with Emmett Wood on a malicious no trespass, and then work with Judge Shafritz on a malicious restraining order. So I ain't going to let their expectations get high ever again. Just like that motherfucker that was lurking in front of, stalking me and trying to talk shit and rope-a-dope me into a conversation at the bus stop in front of Dollar General. I let it go on for so long, and then when he kept going, I just kept looking at him like, yeah, what other stupid shit, and where's this going? So he got the message real quick, because he shot across the street. Now remember, he came from Wendy's on the McDonald's side of the street. Then he crosses over to the side of the fairgrounds, walks over to that bus stop in front of the fairgrounds, then walks back across the street to Wendy's and waits to see me get on the bus. So he just walking around in my fucking circles, ain't going anywhere in particular. Oh, he said a lot more than, and I'm not going to say what he said that tipped me off. I'm just saying. So you're getting cut off and outed just as soon as I figure out who you are. So fuck around and find out, Tucker, Candace, Virginia, Miro, Trump, Keg's Breath, Gnome, Puppy Killer Gnome, Big Balloon Boobs Gnome, Blanche, Bondi, Bailey, Bove. Your days are numbered, motherfuckers. I hope to fuck all these war crimes give Dad's Assassins team everything they need to just arrange for a bunch of accidents. I wouldn't get no COVID vaccines if I were y'all. I wouldn't get no vaccines of any kind if I were y'all.